Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an Arty that we don't often see in the game. You're looking at the T1 HMC, which is a Tier 2 American SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Mines, and this one is under the command of TheLastKalos. Game on. Okay, it's a 75mm pack howitzer. When I say pack howitzer, that means it's a howitzer that can actually be dismantled into various components and then carried on pack animals. The idea, the concept was to make artillery mobile so it could actually be carried around the place. And to do that, you really need it to be dismantled because the parts collectively together were actually quite heavy. But if you can dismantle them, you can actually create a howitzer that can be carried just about everywhere. Now it fires 8G rounds, which are capable of 175 alpha, 19mm of pen, and 1.06 meters on the burst radius. You can see he's got a lovely direct hit there on an M2 light. Managed to pick up 43 hit points from that one, has reduced them to just 12. The standard reload, according to the book, is 8.63 seconds, I think. Maybe 8.68, but it's very, very low. And we can see that the reload time that TheLastKalos has got is 8.63 exactly. Yeah, it is 8.63. Yep, that is the book one. So he hasn't actually been able to put anything that can actually increase the fire rate at all. But even so, he's still pumping those rounds out, and one of the enemy has already gone up. In fact, two of the enemy have already gone down. A Panzerjäger and a T1 E6. Now, at the moment, the enemy is actually hiding from view, although there is an enemy tank fairly close by to us, actually. But he's just been wiped out. That was the Panzer, I think it was the Panzer Zwei. Yes, Panzerkampfwagen Zwei. We're looking for the other enemy Arty, which happens to be Geschutzpanzer Mark 6, which is a German Arty made from the hull of Vickers Mark 6 vehicles, which were light tanks, but they actually converted quite a few of them. I think it was 9 of them, or was it 10, from the vehicles that were left over after Dunkirk. We're looking at FTAC, rounds out. Oh, that's a lovely kill, that one. Obliterated that enemy tank destroyer. The FTAC is no more. Okay, we've got another target, a T60 this time. And he's taking a pounding from our Panzer Zwei. But the enemy's got an M2 up there as well, so we'll put a round into him. Oh, he moved before we could get the shots in target. Our Panzer Zwei is on fire. And I don't think he's going to last very long. He's very low on hit points now, only 72. And that M2 appears to be whittling away, only 4 hit points. So I think that Panzer Zwei goes. Oh, very close indeed. We can see another enemy tank over here. It's another Panzer Zwei, but he doesn't appear to be moving much. We're dialing in as fast as we can. No gun lane drive. Oh, he does get a hit there. He did move his aim just after he fired. Okay, he's firing down into this area. He's expecting the enemy Arty to be in that corner. He's looking for the tracer for the counter battery. There is an enemy tank that's been spotted over on the east side of the map. He could go for that. In fact, he's now decided, yes, he'd rather do that. So he's got to let it settle. It takes a while to dial in. The actual carriage or the chassis for the T1 HMC came from a T2 chassis, but it incorporated parts from the T1 Cunningham, which of course was an American tank. And the M2 has been spotted. He's just outside the arc. There you go. The arc is 30 degrees either side, so 60-degree arc is actually very good. But it's when you've got fast-moving opponents, it can be very difficult. Now he's changing his aim again because there's an M2 light just come into the castle grounds. An RM2 light, very low on hit points. He probably won't last very long. Rounds out. Good hit, solid hit for 50 hit points. Surprising, but RM2 light managed to escape, but not for long. He actually crashed in the end. I think he went over the edge and wasn't able to stay up. So, the way the battle's going at the moment, there's 4 left on either side. Exact same composition. 3 light tanks, 1 Arty. Oh, he did work out where the Geschützpanzer was, and he's taken him out, which means now that they've got no Arty. Admittedly, the Geschützpanzer takes a long time to aim at the enemy. It also has a very long reload time. It's a 105mm gun, not the 75mm you see here. But it was very devastating to any tier 2 or tier 1 tanks. And in fact, this is a tier 2 game with, or tier 3 game rather, with tier 2 tanks in it. But he's been taken out now, and it's only 3 enemy light tanks left. Now that M2 light is not sticking around. He's going to try and get at that T45. A nice hit. And this guy's going to go down because he's only 17 hit points. Rounds out. Oh, he went down just before our shell arrived. So we missed out on getting a 3rd kill. So only the 2 so far for the TheLastKalos. Or LastKalos, I should say. Now, one of the enemy lights has just moved into the castle grounds, an M2 light. We can't shoot at him from his current position. And the other enemy light is a T60. He's very low on hit points. Let's see what we can do with this. Rounds out. Close. Very close. The fast reload's very helpful. There's only 1 enemy left now. It's the M2 light over here in the castle grounds. Little too late, but don't let that worry you. And the last enemy is dead, and that's a victory. Here's the end of battle results, and that was the 3rd class tanker for the TheLastKalos in the T1 HMC. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in that game. He managed to get 5 exactly. His win rate in the game was 3,158, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage in the game turned out to be the Geschützpanzer Mark 6, who actually got 721 hit points with his 105mm main gun. The 2nd highest damage was our Panzer Spy with 556, and the 3rd highest damage was the enemy M2 Light, who managed 500 hit points and a cool-headed out of that game. We can see here that the TheLastKalos got 434 hit points of damage, which means he was beaten by 3 on the enemy team, 2 on his own, puts him in 6th place when it comes to damage. When it comes to kills, though, he was actually in joint 2nd place because 3 kills went to the Tetrak, 2 kills went to the M2 Light, the T1 HMC, the TKS-20, and on the enemy team, the Geschützpanzer Mark 6, or Mark 6, I should say, M2 Light, and the Light Viz 35 all managed 2 kills as well. When it came to base XP, we can see he's way down the table, I'm afraid. Yes, the high score was the TKS-20 with 570, then the M2 Light with 494, followed by the Tetrak with 418, and we can see the TheLastKalos managed 275. He fired 12 rounds, got 6 direct hits on the enemy and 1 penetrating shot. Now, I'm hazarding to guess that that was the enemy Arty. Yes, it was. He wiped him out. He was stationary. He was firing from that position, but it was a bit of an obvious position to fire from, and he wasn't moving about and repositioning after he shot, and as a consequence, he got wiped out. We go back to the details. We can see 434 hit points for TheLastKalos, 5 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, 110 hit points of damage assist, and on a free-to-play account, he made a profit of 6,417 credits. And he also picked up 550 XP as well. So a pretty good game there, all things considered. And we haven't seen that many games for the Tier 2 Arty in a while, so I think a lot of people just stopped playing them after a while. But some of them, actually, you can be pretty skillful on them. And I'd not only recommend the Tier 3 Arties as well as the Tier 2, but it's amazing how much damage a small little Arty can do if you've got a good player. If you know how to play the game really, really well, you'd be amazed at how many ace tankers you can pick up, as well as top guns and high calibers. Because all in all, once you get really good with an Arty at this level, it becomes very easy to get good games out of it and good medals. The only thing is you just can't mark it because, of course, it's below Tier 5. Hope you enjoyed that brief sojourn back in Tier 2. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.